Hey folks, Pat here from DNS, and this Madison area fishing report is current as of Friday, December 20th. Before we get started, I do want to stress that this report is for current conditions as of today's date. Many factors can cause ice conditions to vary, so please be careful no matter where you fish. For up-to-date ice conditions, please feel free to call the shop at 608-241-4225, and we can let you know what we're hearing around town. Or if you run into some sketchy ice yourself, please call the shop and let us know what you're seeing out there. Apologize for the late post here. Just been busy actually here at the shop. A lot of folks coming through, so let's just try to knock this out. A couple of announcements first. DNR wants to remind anglers that muskie season closes statewide December 31st, so that is, of course, New Year's Eve at midnight. I've actually had a few guys asking for muskie suckers. I'm not sure if we have any even around town. As far as I know, the sucker ponds are all iced up. Kids Fishing Day, Yahara Fishing Club, awesome group. Kids Fishing Day, awesome event. That'll be January 25th, Brittingham Park on Monona Bay. Awesome event. If you got a kid you want to get into ice fishing, take them down there. You get a free rod. They drill the holes for you. They got experts on hand to show you what to do. The shop here is happy to provide the bait for that. And yeah, hot dogs and beverages and just a great time. So mark your calendars. If you got a kid you want to get into ice fishing, January 25th, going to be a great time. I did get an email from Matt Kashalik, who some of you might know as a DNR warden, wanted me to let folks know about an ATV safety class that they're going to be hosting out at the Yahara Fish Hatchery Road DNR office out there in Fitchburg. That'll be Friday evening, the 25th, and then the main class is the 26th, Saturday. That's an all-day class. It must be in conjunction with Dane County Sheriff because the contact to this is Corey Knapp, so that's knapp.corey@danesheriff.com. You can email him to sign up, or I found it on the DNR Go Wild page. You can just go on the DNR website, enter, search for ATV class. It should come right up here, and you can, select the course type, Dane County. It'll pop right up. You can enroll here right online. So, yeah, safety in all things we do is important, but ATVs especially. Obviously you always hear about tragedies, and it's important to be safe out there. So, so Jim Kasuda was in last night for our wrapping up our winter seminar series. Really appreciate him coming out. Really appreciate the folks that made it out. We had a bunch of snow falling down, but we're ice anglers, right? And we can handle stuff like that. So Jim just did a fabulous job as always. Jim, of course, pro staff for Vexilar Clam and Ice Team. Really knows his stuff. They call him Mendota Jim, and he talked about of course Vexilar products and a lot of other um, you know things that he reps and other products that are out there and how he likes to fish. But one thing a lot of people commented on is like the little things that he does that seem to make all the difference. So I did record that. I will be posting that up on our YouTube page in the future. Here you can see we had the Tube of Truth out. He was showing like cadence stuff with wax worms. He's a waxy guy. I'm a spikes guy, but I might have to look at waxies because if Jim Kazuda's doing it, it's good. Jim also brought along some Vexilar swag and stuff. Anybody that asked a question got a free hand towel, or as Jim calls them, if you're not catching any fish, a crying towel, which is pretty funny. But the other big thing, like if I post these to YouTube and that's all fine and well, but you really should be trying to make it down to these things. Besides, the great like prize giveaways we do 10% off of the shop. Anybody that comes down that night, also great. But Jim last night hooked everybody in the audience up. He has like a pro discount code or whatever that you can enter when you buy stuff off Vexilar. And he gave everybody his code and said that they could use it. Of course, I'm not going to tell you guys the code because the folks that made it last night get the code, and it was 35% off of Vexilar. And then on top of that, $150 rebate, mail-in rebate. So huge discounts on Vexilar. So you really should be trying to make it down to these things because you never know what kind of hookups you're going to get. And I do want to thank Jim for doing a great job last night making it in. I want to thank everybody that made it out. And I do want to thank Brian Zuke and Pat Westberg, who were our other two speakers during this series, for also coming in and doing a great job, and everybody that made it out because they're really fun events. And I know, people appreciate them. So that's great. Noah Humfeld was in last week, or I guess earlier this week, made an awesome little video about a holiday gift guide. Check it out at Madison Angling on his YouTube, Madison Angling. He just goes over a bunch of the kind of unique things we have here at the shop and some cool ideas for the angler in your life, especially the person who might have everything. So thanks to Noah for doing that. It turned out really great. One other thing we're going to talk about here when we get into the fishing report is ice conditions. Just want to remind folks, you should at least have a pair of ice picks that you wear around your neck at the very least. Spud bar is a good idea. J-rope is a product we sell here at the shop, or even just a length of rope in case there's some kind of emergency. These J-ropes are super nice because you can harness over your shoulders for carrying your sled, or if you're a deer hunter, you can drag deer out with them, and they're super handy and unfurl into like a 30-foot rope or something. So anyway, stay safe out there is kind of going to be a theme of the report moving forward. And as far as announcements go on the door here, we got the Marshall Fishery. If you have a fishery in your neighborhood you want to promote, bring a poster down. We'll put it up on the wall. This Marshall Lyons Fishery is on the 17th and 18th of January. And then, of course, the Kids Fishing Day poster here for the 25th of, or wait, that's not the 25th. The 20, what was that? Anyway, the kid, I think it's 25th, yeah. Yeah, it is, the 25th of January. Sorry, had a brain fart there. Okay, so fishing report. Let's get into it. We're going to start this off by just going over, well, the weather and then an ice report. But this week was, weather-wise, was almost exact repeat of the week before. The weekend was warm and things have kind of gradually cooled down over the last couple of days. Of course, we got like 5 to 6 inches of snow yesterday here in Madison. I think more to the east of Madison, which kind of caught me off guard. I thought they were talking like an inch or two. And I think tomorrow is going to be cold, but then temps slowly warm back up. Sunday looks nice, but by next weekend, you're going to be in the 40s again. I don't think we're going to really lose much ice. So the ice will likely hang out, especially now that we got some snow on top. But outside of tonight and tomorrow, I don't think we have much chance of making much ice before the new year, unfortunately. So let's just go over some ice conditions, and then I'll loop back and do like a fishing report. But Cherokee Marsh up here, 5 to 6 inches up there. The North Bay has ice across it. I'm not sure how safe it is. I know some of the folks that live over here have been running tip-ups out from their houses, but I haven't heard of many folks getting out that way. Marshall Park has ice. I'm not sure how much. I know folks have been fishing it, and I don't know how they've been doing. The ice we had on Warner Bay and University Bay before last weekend is all gone now. Unfortunately, after that rain and warm weather we had last weekend. Kind of the same deal on Monona Bay, or Lake Monona. The lake's wide open. It had capped over last Friday or something, but it's wide open now. There is ice on Squaw Bay or Weechawuk Bay over here. And Turville Bay, I imagine, has ice. Monona Bay, of course, has had ice for a couple weeks. They got maybe 5 to 6 out here, or I'd say 4 to 5 on Monona Bay. The South Triangle here, everybody wants to know about the triangles. South Triangle, actually, I've heard has 5, 6 inches of ice easily. North Triangle, definitely sketchier. Talked to a guy just this morning who was out there yesterday. He said he had anywhere from 1.5 inches to 3 inches, but the 1.5 inch ice was cracking under his feet, and he said he actually fell and thought for sure he was going through because the ice cracked heavily under his weight there. But yeah, good ice on Monona Bay. Do be careful. I drove around on Wednesday checking things out. I wondered why nobody was out from Brittingham Beach. It's because there's a tiny bit of open water right along shore here. It must have been from the melt last week. And then I heard a couple people walking off on Sunday actually wound up going through a little bit. And that never refroze as of Wednesday. It'll probably cap up here this weekend. So if you walk in off the beach, do be careful. You could put a board across there right now and get across it, but most folks are fishing down here on the west end, and you could walk on there. It seems like pretty good. Lake Wingra has ice. I think I'd give it like 4 inches probably. Do be careful on this end. I know there's a lot of springs over here for sure, and along the areas down here. So, just be careful out there. Like I said, Turville, I don't know how much ice is over there, but I imagine it's capped over. I haven't heard actually, but Weechawuk Bay over here has ice. I've heard there's 2 to 2.5, so you're going to want to use caution if you go out there. But folks have been going out there. Upper Mud down here has, I've heard anywhere from 4 to 8 inches. I have a hard time wrapping my brain around 8, so maybe we'll call it 4 to 6, but there might be 8 inches out there. Who knows? I do get a lot of calls here how to access, and people want to know how to access Upper Mud. There's a county parking lot over here right off Terminal Drive. You can see this green square here, and there's a parking lot there. You do have to pay or have a Dane County boat launch permit to park there, but then you walk a path. It's like a quarter mile through marsh. It can be pure hell if there isn't snow and it's muddy, but now it's frozen and now we got snow. So I imagine that walk through this marsh is going to be more passable. And we'll talk about fishing conditions later. Like I said, this is just ice report. Wabisa's capped over. There are folks fishing on Lake Farm and down here on the south end, but not many. And I've heard 3 to 4 inches up here at Lake Farm. I don't know how much is on Wabisa. I talked to one guy who said he was out there, and he said it was very sketchy. So not sure how much ice is on the main lake. Same thing down to Kegonsa. It's capped over. I don't hear many reports off Kegonsa, so I don't really know if folks have been out. I imagine there's some folks poking around pan fishing closer to shore probably, but no word on ice there. So I guess now we'll just kind of loop back and just do a fishing report. So Cherokee Marsh, like I said, good ice up here. They've been getting good pike and bass action on tip-ups. Bluegills are spotty. It could be on fire for a couple hours in the morning and then just die and then pick up at night, or it could be hot in the middle of the day. You just never know. I tell people it's always worth a look, but I wouldn't spend a whole day there if the fish just aren't biting. Like I said, North Bay over here has got ice. Folks have been out. I haven't heard any reports. Marshall Park down here also, like I said, has ice. Haven't heard any reports from anybody fishing over there. I drove by Tenney the other day. You could still fish this. You could still cast in there if you wanted to cast at Tenney. And of course, the river here is open. I imagine there's a decent amount of open water here on where the Yahara dumps into Lake Monona. But otherwise, Mendota is wide open right now. And like I said, it's going to be a while now, I think, before we get any chance at ice, at least till after the new year. So hope you like bluegill fishing. Lake Monona, same thing. It's wide open. Squaw Bay or Weechawak Bay has, I've been hearing about some decent tip-up action. Panfish have been a little tougher, but I do hear that the weeds in there are good. So I'm sure the panfish are in there. You just got to look for them. Fishing over on Monona Bay, the ice was very clear and the water's very clear, so things were tough. Now, this last week, the ice got cloudy from some of that rain, and then now there's snow on top, so it should be all good for not busting yourself with standing right on top of bluegills. I have heard about folks having some good days. I've heard about some folks struggling. So, and tip-up action's been, I guess, pretty good. I heard about some walleyes coming out of the triangles and some pike and stuff like that. But it has been a little bit of a struggle compared to most of the time, first ice, Monona Bay, people are just pounding them down there. But anyway, get down there and find out for yourself. Lake Winger, a lot of small panfish in there. I haven't heard much in the way of tip-up action. Upper Mud, like I said, it sounds like the panfish action over here in the dredge hole has been slow, but the tip-up action has been on fire over there. So if you like catching a lot of small pike, there's a lot of those. But a guy just showed me a pic. I don't know, that fish had to have been upper 30s, probably 38. So yeah, there's some nice fish in there for sure, but you got to sort through them. A lot of small pike. Same thing down Lake Farm. A lot of small pike cruising through there. I haven't heard much in the way of panfish, but the tip-up action's been pretty good. I haven't heard anything off the south Bay of Wabisa, and again, haven't heard anything off Kegonsa. The ditches down here have had ice for a while, and I'm sure folks are getting a lot of small panfish and probably some small pike, but that's all I know as far as stuff around town goes. Kashkanang sounds like it has ice. Folks have been fishing, but do use caution out there. There were some big holes out there not too long ago that recently capped over. Sounds like the crappie bite and walleye bite is pretty good down there, but I haven't heard much else. Beaver Dam bite, I've heard is still going pretty strong up there, so if you want to take a trip, go to Beaver Dam, you can. Haven't heard anything off Devil's Lake. Other than, who was that? Anyway, a guy come in and said he called up to the ranger booth up there, and they said the lake was still open, and this was like last Friday or Saturday when I thought it would have been capped over, when a lot of things down here capped over. So anyway, if you want to fish Devil's Lake, call up there. Trout through the ice is super fun. River, obviously, not a lot of folks fishing the river. Lake Wisconsin's been iced over for a while now. Sounds like good panfish action in places like Moon Valley and some of these bays, the Fingers and the Grade over here, usually good panfish action out there. Sounds like if you get into fish, you got to sort through quite a bit to find keepers. Haven't heard it much in the way of walleyes, but I know the walleye bite there this fall was out of control. So and so up the river, not much to report on the river itself. Castle Rock and Petenwell. I heard about a good crappie bite up here to Petenwell. Harley is actually up there fishing right now as I record this, so I hope he's doing well. But otherwise, I haven't heard much in the way of reports, but it sounds like they got decent ice up there. Backwaters of the Mississippi are fishable from what I hear, but do use caution. There's springs and stuff that can change that stuff. Runoff, you never really know. So Maybe talk to a local bait shop out that way if you head that way. Same thing on the Wisconsin River. Most of your sloughs and stuff are going to be locked up and can be great fishing and a lot of fun to get out and actually feel like you're not fishing with a couple hundred of your best friends. But yeah, do also be careful when you're in those areas. Otherwise, over to Milwaukee. I don't know what the status of the harbors is. I think they were capped over after that cold, but they're probably open again, just like here. So I don't know if folks are still getting them from shore over here, probably. Otherwise, Browns and Steelhead have moved up into the rivers. I heard the Root is fishable. There's areas on the Milwaukee that I'm sure I iced over where it's really slow. But, places like Estabrook, Clatch, and stuff where there's, good current should be fishable. And there are fish in the river. So um, if you want a little change of pace, get over there and check that out. Otherwise, I think that pretty much does it for the report. I do want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas if you celebrate that. Otherwise, and Happy Holidays, to everybody. But I'll talk to you again before the new year here. Oh, I forgot. Happy Fly Day. I'm not going to talk about any fly specifically, but talk about tying stuff. This is tying season, winter. Great time to hunker down and stock your box up for next year. We got our fly department up and running. Super proud of this, and swing in and check out what we have to offer. Otherwise, yeah, do want to thank you for tuning in and be safe out there. Post your comments and catches below. Call the shop if you have any questions, 241-4225. Otherwise, yeah, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I won't talk to you all before Christmas is done, and I'll be in before the new year. So anyway, we will be closed Christmas Day also. So thanks for tuning in. We'll talk later.